Korea's traditional attire, Hanbok, is gaining plenty of attention these days, especially from young people. Thanks to the influence of K-pop artists like BTS and NewJeans, Hanbok is becoming a beloved fashion item worldwide. Now today, we invite an artist who is actively promoting the beauty of Hanbok in the UK and has recently successfully held a Hanbok art exhibition in London. We now connect to Mikey Espinosa, a Hanbok content creator and artist. Hello, Mikey. Welcome.
Hello, Mikey.
Hello. Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you on the show, Mikey. So could you please introduce yourself a little bit to our viewers, as well as the recent exhibition, Beauty of Hanbok, that you held?
Sure. I'm a British-born Filipino artist, born in London, who has been heavily involved with the Korean community, specifically with Hanbok. And because of this, it has inspired my creativity, and it led to the creation of the Beauty of Hanbok exhibition.
Mm-hmm. And I see you also are wearing something that looks like a hanbok, and in the background we do see your passion for hanbok and many Korean things. So could you maybe describe a little bit your surrounding right now?
Oh yeah, sure. Well, what I'm wearing now is a shirt from a designer called Yobek, who's worked with many K-dramas and K-pop idols. And behind me are some of my favorite pieces. So, for example, this one is by Shin Seoul, a trench coat, a modernized version of the of Hanbok turned into a trench coat. And the other side is a durumagi and a dopo made by a designer called Songhwa. And it fuses my Filipino heritage with the silhouette of Hanbok.
Wow, beautiful. Yeah. So let's talk about the recent event then. So this is already the 6th edition of your Hanbok event that took place. So what is it about Hanbok that intrigues you, and what made you fall so deep into it that eventually you even opened this exhibition?
Gosh, it goes way back. So where I grew up, there wasn't a lot of Asian representation in the media. So I was drawn to any kind of Asian representation, and then discovering K-pop on YouTube in the mid-2000s, it introduced me to Korea. And when I started working, a lot of my colleagues were Korean and eventually invited me to visit Korea. And the first thing that we did was to try on Hanbok. And from then on, I fell in love with wearing it. And I thought at the time I wouldn't come back to Korea, so I decided to make my own durumagi, which is the Hanbok overcoat, and Songhwa made my first one. And I also bought modern pieces from a designer called Lee Seoul. And when I came back to London, there was a viral video of me that went around, and I was invited to the Hallyu Wave exhibition at the V&A. And I was photographed, and Lee Seoul, who had designed for BTS, had seen me wearing her clothing, and she invited me to meet her. So it was such an honor, and when I visited Korea, I met her, and it opened the doors to so many talented, creative people in the Hanbok community, and they inspired my exhibition.
Oh, what a story.
What an amazing experience indeed. So what aspect did you focus on most while preparing for this exhibition as well? Or what was it that you wanted to emphasize through it exactly?
Well, I would say that the Hanbok community itself, it was just so beautiful, and I felt so much warmth, and I wanted to capture that through the exhibition. And at the same time, I also wanted to educate people about what differentiates Hanbok from other traditional clothes in Asia. So, for example, we did a fashion show, and my co-founder, Becky Smith of Hanbok Wave UK, which is an organization that does group projects, we would describe each pieces of the hanboks that were displayed, and also displaying the people that I've met by painting portraits of them too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how was the response by the locals there? I mean, first of all, there is one of our viewers, Arirang TV viewer and also Arirang radio listener, who was at that event. He lives in London, and he actually told me that he was at this wonderful Hanbok art exhibition. And now we're talking to the person who is involved with it and who actually, started this exhibition. So how was the response by the visitors? And also, how is Hanbok being perceived by people in the UK. Do they actually, do they prefer the traditional, the original style of hanbok or the fusion hanbok?
Well, the audience really found hanbok so beautiful, and I noticed that they wanted to try on or even own a piece of hanbok. But I think right now there's there's a conversation with cultural appropriation and appreciation, and sometimes it can make people hesitant to wear it. But there's a difference between appropriation and appreciation, and appropriation being when another culture claims ownership of another culture. So I think by teaching cultural appreciation, people would respect and understand hanbok culture, and this may make them feel a bit more comfortable with wearing and enjoying hanbok. There was a lot of positive response to modern hanbok, and I think it's because it feels more accessible to wear, and especially in the modern age. And I know designers themselves would love to see British people enjoying their clothing. So I just want to bridge the customers to Korea's hanbok designers.
Yes, just to kind of stay on the same subject there, some people have claimed that, fusion hanbok does dilute the identity of hanbok itself. What's your view on this exactly?
Well, I think that the hanbok designers in Korea, they're so talented and they're incredibly amazing. They take elements of traditional hanbok and modernize it. So even though it may look like something very new, the DNA of tradition is always in its design. But also traditional hanbok will never go away. So I don't think there is any harm being done. If anything, fusion or modern hanboks are a perfect way to introduce hanbok to people and introduce hanbok's origins and its identity.
Yes, I'd have to agree with you there as well. So when creating a hanbok exhibition, are there any aspects that you specifically kind of target or that that appeals to, let's say, the British audience compared to maybe the Korean audience, maybe in terms of cultural approaches and color or possibly even silhouettes?
Well, I think hanbok is very new to a lot of British people, so teaching them the key points of hanbok, such as the korum, which is the the recognizable single looped ribbon, or the silhouette, it would help people recognize this reminds me of hanbok. So.
Okay, and now you, Mikey, are also, you not only are involved in hanbok, but you also draw and paint various different things, and that includes scenes from Korea. I think I saw some works that portray 청계천 stream and also 종로 3가, which are some very famous locations in the heart of Seoul. So why do you often depict these Korean scenes, and what kind of inspiration does Korea provide you?
Well, actually, I create a lot of fairy tale books, but when I lack inspiration, I paint from observation to kind of feed that creative desire that I have. So I painted Korean landscapes because I haven't seen any Asian landscapes painted in this style that I do, and I find that because Korea developed so quickly in recent years, I find the combination of old buildings, traditional palaces, and new skyscrapers all mashed into one so beautiful. So the feeling of different eras colliding into one is just something that I love and find very attractive. And also the places I paint are quite connected to my travels there, and so they also hold a very sentimental value.
Oh, and we're seeing some of your beautiful pieces. And the one that we're seeing right now is actually the one that's hanging on the wall behind you, I think. Could you maybe describe this masterpiece?
Oh, so, whenever I go to Korea, I just always stay in Jongno because I feel like that's where all the palaces and the traditions are. And the subject, the person in the painting, is actually a pipa player, but also a norige designer. So all the norige, which is the dangling accessory of the hanbok behind me, they were all designed by him. And actually, because of my Filipino heritage, he designed a norige inspired by the Filipino flag. So he creates very sentimental things for me as well. So I just had to paint him in also a scene that I love.
Oh, I see. So that was not an not an imaginative person, but it was actually a real person that you drew. Nice.
That's a very beautiful painting indeed. So, lastly, like, what efforts do you think needed a glimpse for Hanbok and to gain, let's say, more popularity? And could you give us a glimpse into your future exhibition plans or possibly other activities that you have coming up?
Sure. Well, like things like K-pop, K-dramas and films, they're already doing like such an amazing job depicting Hanbok. So having things like exhibitions or fashion shows abroad can help spread like the beauty of Hanbok. And I've also launched a company called Cultura. It's a Hanbok store and it works with a lot of the designers that I've met, and I'm trying to make their clothes accessible here in London. And I'm also trying to look for organizations that that could help me spread the word of Hanbok, because I am just an individual who's just driven by passion. And for now, I'm just using the resources that I have to create the community projects that involve and teach everything about Hanbok. And also, there's so much more to showcase, such as other traditional clothes in Korea used for certain occasions. So right now the possibilities for Hanbok are endless here.
All right. Thank you very much, Mikey, for connecting with us today and for showcasing the beautiful Korean traditional attire in the UK and beyond. I mean, it's not even always easy for Koreans to promote everything Korean. So I think we should also thank you for doing what you're doing. So thank you again and keep in touch.
Thank you, Mikey.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you, Walter, as always. So we're going to see you back here next week.
See you very soon.